As spiritual warriors, we get to talk about the uncomfortable, even like my body, the uncomfortable things that we have to face. We sometimes need to face living as a human being on the planet in 2022. Which, let's be real, there is a lot to navigate in 2022. Just a ton to navigate. And one of those things that I have been seeing and noticing and hearing about is that, and I've talked about narcissism before, that narcissism is on the rise. Sociopathy is on the rise. I don't know about psychopaths, but apparently psychopaths are born, that they're just born that way, and sociopaths are made. Now, not all psychopaths and sociopaths are violent. In fact, many of them are not. They're just master manipulators. But both sociopaths and psychopaths are narcissists. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because what I've been noticing and what other people have been talking about as well is they are on the rise. And it is actually one of the biggest evils that we will see as humans in our lifetime, because they're so covert, because they're so manipulative, and because they're so charming. And they're oftentimes, they can really harm you without laying one finger on you. Now, I was raised by narcissists. I was raised by narcissists that hurt me physically, and I was raised by narcissists that hurt me emotionally and mentally. And so I've had a relationship as adults because I've had the vibration of inviting narcissism into my life. I have that vibration, and I'm still working that out. Plus, I have the everybody's okay, and I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt naivete as well. I carry that. Now, why am I talking about this? Because as we're ascending, I'm going to use that word. I don't love that word. I know it's a very spiritual word. I don't love it because it's been overused. You know what I mean? Like, we're not like, yes, we are changing. Yes, we have we are here to shift the planet at this time, and the potential for ascension is huge right now. But we have to do the work, and we have to turn our attention to God, to the divine within, and to Goddess creatrix, and stop getting sidetracked by drugs, alcohol, media, narcissistic people, all the stuff. There's so many traps out there to keep us connected and moving away from our light and connected to the dark. So it is so imperative that you do your own work right now. Like, I can't keep saying this enough, and I'm talking to myself as well. And every time something happens, such as, okay, had a run-in with this person, or this thing is happening, it is an opportunity to strengthen your relationship to God. Now, narcissism is on the rise because people are they're very, very wounded people, and many people are wounded without the tools, and they have actively been, they're turning away from God, and they're engaged in something darker, and they're needing supply. They need supply, meaning they need energy. So they're on the prowl. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to be aware of it. Because even someone like me, who's done a lot of work, I do a lot of work, I see a lot of people, I am still have the opportunities to get into these entanglements. If I'm not careful, the entanglements are shorter and more less, but they happen. I want you to be aware. It's not about being paranoid. It's not about not trusting people. It's about being sharp and using your spidey sense, that if you're involved with someone who does not have your best interest at heart, what can you do to begin untangling? Or anyone that drains your energy. Now, as far as like kids go, if we think about Little Red Riding Hood, the story, it's all about narcissism. It's all about being aware of the narcissistic traps we have in society, but we're not from people, but we're not talking about this with kids. We're not outwardly saying, okay, we're going to keep you healthy and safe. I mean, parents, including myself, I don't believe in vaccinating children as much as I used to. That's an entirely whole other conversation, but my daughter has been vaccinated. So we will, when she was younger, and so we'll pump them up with those types of things. We want to keep them safe physically, but we're not teaching them the pitfalls of human endangerment. Like, yes, there's stranger danger and all of that, and that's like, don't, be aware. But there's other pitfalls, and we want to be aware of this. And again, it's not about being paranoid. It's not about that. It's about being smart. It's about connecting with people who are actively connected to God, to their guides, to the divine. Now, if you think about Little Red Riding Hood, it's all about narcissism. Little Red Riding Hood, she's so sweet and she's so beautiful and she's walking through the forest and she's on her way to take care of her sick grandma. And what happens? This wolf comes and meets her. Is she scared of the wolf? No, she's intrigued and fascinated by the wolf, just like I used to, and many people, especially women, and or flips people in the dating world, right? Oh my God, they're so charming. They pay so much attention to me. We're enamored, right? So she's enamored by the wolf, and then she tells the wolf, the scary wolf, where she's going. What does the wolf do? The wolf goes to the grandma's house, eats the grandma, dresses up like the grandma, total manipulation, gets into bed, right? And pretends to be the sick grandma. And the Little Red Riding Hood knows something's wrong, knows something isn't right, but she keeps going anyway, right? She keeps moving forward. She's like, Grandma, you have, what big arms you have. And she's like, the wolf's like, the better to hug you with. It's very seductive. It's very sexual. It's very, seductive, right? And oftentimes people who are really sociopathic and narcissistic, they know how to put you in a trance. They know how to get you all googly-eyed so you don't see the wolf in sheep's clothing. It's masterful. It really is. Then what big eyes you have, better to see you with, right? And this is all seductive. She knows there's something wrong, but she's in the trance. And then, what big teeth you have, Grandma, the better to eat you with. Devour. This is the path of the narcissist. Devour, and the sociopath. Devour, 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 take. So fascinating. It's a story, a childhood fairy tale, literally laying out the traps of narcissism and what happens when we get in a trance. And it often happens to empathic, like I said, light workers. I'm telling you, you're a light worker, you're an empath. Just be mindful. Just be mindful. Your energy is sacred. And anything that nudges you as little red flag, just explore it. Get really curious around it. And again, I'm going to say it for the third time. This is not about being paranoid. This is not about diagnosing everybody as narcissistic sociopaths. No, it's about being aware of who you're in relationship with. Because like I said, it recently happened again to me. I used to be a narcissistic sociopathic magnet. Now it's very sparse, but it happens. And whenever I get involved with it, it's like my heart is big and I want to help, I want to support. Or I'm like, yeah, I have a new friend and we have the same interests because they model you. And this one happened a lot quicker. I mean, I cut it off a lot quicker. But it's there, and I'm still working something out. There's something in my vibration where I'm still attracting this, right? And I may always, because I have a lot of light, you have a lot of light. So this is not about being paranoid. It's about being smart and sacred with your energy. If there's someone in your life or a boss or someone that you're dealing with that it doesn't feel right, it feels icky, or it felt good at first and now it doesn't feel good, ask yourself powerful questions. Get curious and remember, they're on the rise right now. They are. It's just an evil that we get to be aware of as we're shifting right now. It's another quote unquote like test. Are we able to ascend? Are we able to continue putting our attention towards God and the light, being aware? We don't need this shit anymore on the planet. We don't, but it keeps manifesting. We don't need rape. We don't need pedophiles. We don't need this darkness. It's on its way out. I know that in my heart, but there's a good fight going on. So in that fight, we're going to turn away, ignore it, and put your focus toward God, towards your guides, towards light, towards service, toward your creativity. Anyone who wants to take your energy, no. Anytime you feel drained around someone, just ask questions about it. Ask questions. do I want to be involved in this? Is this good for me? Is this in my highest good? Whew. She scared me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. We're going to end it with that. If you have any questions or thoughts about this video or any experiences with this, this feels important. And as spiritual, sorry, she's driving me cuckoo. As spiritual warriors, we get to be aware, we get to be mindful and pray, 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 and do your inner work. All right, my name is Beth Osborne, and I will see you on the next video.